Hey, so I just wanted to do a little something for fun here and talk about cover songs, specifically cover songs that I loved growing up that I had no idea weren't original songs. At the time, I probably didn't even know what a cover song was, as a matter of fact. But anyway, cover songs are an interesting topic for me personally because, well, I don't really like them. And that's because for me, it's all about when I first hear the song. And if it's one I've never heard before, where I'm literally hearing it for the first time, then, I'm unbiased and I'll either like the song or I won't. But if it's a song I was already aware of and liked it in its original form, 99% of the time I'll think the cover version is inferior and I'll just prefer the original that I had initially liked. But if I'm hearing the material for the very first time in a song, like where I've never heard the original and don't know it's a cover version, then it's a clean slate. And again, I'll either like it, or I won't. I think that's the same for everybody, as I'm sure many of you guys have experienced what I'm talking about here. And I'll look forward to discussing it all with you in the comments after the video. I know I'm in the minority here, as I think most of you out there enjoy cover songs, and that's of course, super cool, but I also know some of you can relate, and here is a perfect example. Just a few days ago, over on Patreon, we were talking about a song called Fascination Street by my band, Chimera. Actually, it was done by The Cure, but Chimera covered it way back in the day. And a lot of guys were like, wait, Fascination Street isn't an original Chimera tune? They loved our version of the song and had no idea it was a cover song. And so you see, I think it's just all about when and how you get into a song and who originally wrote it becomes irrelevant. First and foremost, I think music is just all about the way it touches you emotionally. And then everything after that, it's just technicalities you either choose to seek out or ignore. So here are a few songs I loved growing up that I still do, that I had no idea until many years later were actually cover songs. First on the list, Zero the Hero by Cannibal Corpse, or Black Sabbath. The thing is, I had no idea that Zero the Hero wasn't an original Cannibal tune. This was the early 90s, and I was huge into Tomb of the Mutilated. At my local used record shop, I found the little single, the Hammer Smash Face single, and it had some additional songs on it. So of course I got it. It looked awesome, and it had the song Zero the Hero. So I wore that thing out and totally loved it. And maybe years later or whatever, when I discovered it was a Black Sabbath song, I heard the Black Sabbath version and it just didn't do the same thing for me. So it didn't have that same feel that I got when I listened to the Cannibal version. So I don't like the original as much. I love Cannibal's version. But what if I had heard them in reverse? What if I had heard Black Sabbath's version first and loved that one and then heard Cannibal's? Would I have thought it was strange? Who knows, right? So again, I think it's all about, I'm gonna keep saying this, I think, but it's all about when you get in, how you get into it, what your environment's like, who you're listening with, all that kind of stuff, with any type of music, just that effect it has on you. Next, big one for me, The Hunt by Sepultura. It's on Chaos AD. I know a lot of you are aware of this. I've mentioned this once or twice in the past, and I know a lot of people really love this tune. There isn't another song in existence that gives me the same feeling that The Hunt does. I can't describe it. There's something about it. The police don't know, go. Anyways, check it out if you haven't heard it. And if you have, then you know what I'm talking about. But there's just something about it that gives me this special feeling. I remember the first time I heard it, a buddy of mine, we were probably in 8th grade, gave me a mixtape and it had a bunch of indie and maybe grunge stuff on it. Mudhoney, the Melvins, Dinosaur Jr., stuff like that. None of which I was into. But there was a couple tunes by this band called Sepultura. And the first one I heard was Biotech, changed my life forever. And then the other one on there was The Hunt. And we're all sitting around listening together. And man, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it right now because I remember that moment in time. And we all have experiences like that with certain songs. And I still feel like that today. So I think just only within the past 10 years or so, I decided to check out who that was actually by. Of course, learned that it was a cover song over time. And it's by this band called the New Model Army. And I listened to their version and it's cool, whatever, but it's still that Sepultura version that really just touched me in a certain way. And it's the one that I truly love. So again, what if I had heard the New Model Army version first? Would I still feel the same about the Sepultura version? No one will ever know, I suppose. All right, let's get into a couple Metallica ones. Bread Fan, come on, dude. I think I probably first heard Bread Fan on the Seattle Live Ship Binge and Purge show. You know, dude, I haven't played this riff in I don't know how long. Something like that. Bread Fan, open up your mind. So awesome. Super badass. I had no idea that that was a cover song for the first 15 years or something. And I guarantee I've still never listened to Budgie's version of it. That's who originally did it. There's kind of just no need to, in my opinion, you know? I love the Metallica version. And then the other one, Am I Evil? Dude, first heard that on Cliff 'Em All. And just absolutely loved the song. I remember me and my buddies would jam that. I was the guy in the neighborhood that could do the you know, just that riff. It's got that same feel when you're playing it, you know, your kids and you're playing it. Same with like For Whom the Bell Tolls, stuff like that. So it was one of those just absolutely killer ones. I had no idea it was a Diamond Head song. And just, you know, within the past few months here, I put out this little YouTube short where I'm talking about the genius of Metallica songwriting, and I'm demonstrating it with an Am I Evil riff. And there are dudes in the comments that just absolutely grilled me, saying I'm an idiot, not knowing that it was a Diamond Head song. Of course, I knew it was a Diamond Head song, and just kind of defend myself here or whatever. That wasn't the point. It was the songwriting point of that, about them changing keys. You know, 10 and 27, and they changed keys in Am I Evil, and that's huge. And I was making the point that Metallica does that in so many of their songs, and it's such a big part of what makes them great. They change keys under solos. They change, you know, listen to bands that just have the same riff under a solo. In my opinion, they're not nearly as interesting as when there's different riff changes happening under solos. You know, Ride the Lightning and Puppets have huge examples of that. Justice too, you know, where the solo will have different riff arrangements and various keys underneath. And I think that's what really adds to the solos, you know, just being very interesting. And it's that same thing with vocals. So anyways, yes, I'm aware that Am I Evil is a Diamond Head song, but I don't know that I've ever listened to the Diamond Head version again, just because I'm just not interested. So I know this video, as I'm talking about it here, as I'm going, just seems like it's all about me, but I don't know. Like I said, I think people will be able to relate to this, even though I think I'm in the minority, but it's a big topic for debate. And so, you know, that's the type of thing that's cool about these YouTube videos, where we can discuss it and give opinions, but let's keep it positive, okay? Keep it positive. Finally, the last thing I'm going to talk about is half of Van Halen's Diver Down record. So late 80s, I'm discovering, you know, the first guitar riff I ever saw played in front of me. My buddy played Panama, and that was my introduction to Van Halen, and I just loved him from there. And then I found out my uncle was into him, and he had like a system in his truck, and like, so he'd just blast Van Halen for me all the time. He was super huge into David Lee Roth's Skyscraper album, you know, David Lee Roth's solo stuff. So we would vibe out on that kind of stuff, and I absolutely love Diver Down, one of my favorites for sure. But you know, Big Bad Bill, Happy Trails, Pretty Woman, Where Have All the Good Times Gone, Dancing in the Street. You know, I just thought I loved those as Van Halen songs. I had no idea who the Kinks or the Who or Roy Orbison were, you know, at the time. So, and that's like the beauty of it, you know, coming back again to it's just how you feel the song and what it does to you emotionally. And it becomes irrelevant, you know, of the original songwriter. In some cases, a lot of the time you want to go back and seek that stuff out. Like I said, it's a technicality of afterwards. You want to find out who the original artist is, and that's cool too. And I've done that as well. But for the most part, I usually prefer the version that I hear first. So that's all I'm going to talk about in terms of those guys' songs. I'll talk about a couple of my own cover songs here just for a sec, just to wrap things up. So I don't really like doing cover songs too much, but Chimera has done a few over the years, and the one that I'm most proud of is Disposable Heroes by Metallica. You know, that was a challenge. You know, the riffing in that is extraordinary. You know, the drumming, the vocals. So, you know, it was, like I said, a challenge, you know, but I think we tackled it and did a really nice job. So that's the cover song that I'm personally most proud of. We've never like played it live or anything, just did it for the studios for like Kerrang! I don't know what it was, 20th, 25th anniversary of Master of Puppets. But like I said, I got a gold plaque off of that one. And the joke I always make is I had to cover another band's song to get my first, gold album or whatever, but I'll take it. And that's badass. Wait, oh, you can't see it, but I actually have it on my wall right up there. So very cool. And then the other one I'll talk about real quick. A lot of you guys have heard me talk about, I got an album coming out with a band called Wretched Pain. And we did a cover of Morbid Angel's Dominate that I think's the best on the block. Wait till you guys hear this one. It's totally killer. Man, it took me a long ass time to hit that solo, but I'm proud of it. And you guys will have to let me know what you think of it when that hits. So definitely, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you are, so you know the moment that album drops. We'll have sneak previews coming out. I'm sure we'll release a couple singles, stuff like that. And then we'll talk about Dominate for sure. If you're a Morbid Angel fan like me, then you'll like that. Appreciate everybody watching. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and let the comments commence. Remember, keep it positive. That's how I like it here. Cheers, guys. See you on the next one.